Welcome to the first episode of a brand new series. This isn't necessarily replacing Epic-Dev. It's kind of going to run with Epic-Dev, so I'll be switching off between the two of them, hence the reason why this is going live on a Tuesday. But it's not necessarily replacement. It is another dev series. This is for a different game, which you may or may not be aware of. So I started maybe mid-December or so working on this. Just really went public with it 4 days ago, I think it is now. On Saturday, did a live stream in which we were playing as the game. As you may have guessed from the title of this video, is Traitor. It is meant to be pretty much a ripoff of Among Us, which, in my defense, is a ripoff of a variety of other games, some computer games and some like card games or board games or maybe even physical, like, I don't know what would you consider like tag or Fox in the Henhouse. Similar to like physical active sport games. I don't know what you would call them. Anyway, Among Us isn't an original idea, so it's not like I'm stealing anything that's original to them. If you didn't watch a Saturday stream, no big deal. You're not going to miss out on anything. If you have no idea what Among Us is, don't worry. It actually doesn't matter. I've never played it. I have seen, I think, 3 videos about the game. So I am definitely not well versed in anything about the game myself either. So, and clearly I am still making a Minetest version of it. So no worries there if you're not familiar with it. In this first video, kind of just going to go over what there is currently, I guess. So we've got a bunch of different building blocks. I'm also going to go over some stuff if you are interested in creating content for it as well. We'll even jump onto the server in a little while. Yes, there is a server. It is relatively new. But yeah, let's dive into things. So first off, there is no crafting in this game. There's just pretty much you have to have creative to get stuff, and I have world edit here, but that's unimportant. It is, I would say, 80% new content. The sounds are ripped right out of Minetest game. Not all of them. I have created 2 sounds so far of my very own, and as time progresses I will create more. Textures, about 75% made by me, and then this first chunk right here is made by Ollie. I think those are only available that way. And then these wood textures I ripped off the internet someplace and scaled them down. It's all in the license information. These are kind of placeholder sci-fi spacey things. So because my understanding of Among Us is it takes place in a spaceship, so I started creating outer space type nodes. Although I do have some quartz, some sand, and I thought someplace I had, here we go, I got a few stone and then some wood. Some of these I actually stole from the Epic game, and I just reused those textures here. Others I just created because I figured just because you're in a spaceship doesn't mean you can't have hardwood floors. I don't know if this technically would qualify as hardwood, but whatever. So the this would be like akin to the lobby. There's a button you can punch, and because I'm the only player, I am the traitor. So you get this cool little shank that you can use to off other players. I think I'm allowed to use that word on YouTube. And in addition to that, in second and third person view and any other player seeing you, they can see you punching, but they can't see what's in your hand. So they don't know if you're holding on to the shank or not, which isn't handy because you don't want somebody to know that you're the traitor. When you're going around trying to stealthily off them. So there are a few tasks. I forget, was it like RJ45 or JR45 or just maybe J45? He's got like a pink admin shield as his profile picture on Discord. He gave me some helpful information about Among Us because he was a little, or is a little more familiar with it. I don't know. And he said there's like tasks that you can complete when you're not a trader, and if the team completes enough tasks and earns enough XP, they win. So currently there are, honestly, I should have said there is one task, which is this code node. And then we have an example node, which is just an example. I mean, it does work, but it is just an example. So we got this task here. And so far, both of the tasks have the same interface. So you can, when you place it, you set up how much XP you get upon successful completion, a delay between task being completed and when it can be completed again. And then the task name is just what the info text will display. So I can just do, and then we click submit. And now it says data entry. We right click, gives us this random number. I didn't pay enough attention to it, so I don't know what it was. And it'll give you a chat message. Try again if you're wrong. 815878. 815878. I should have gotten a message, unless I entered it wrong again. Should have gotten a message saying that I am the traitor and I can't do it. 830615. 830615. Okay, not sure why that's not working, but that's more or less how it works. And this one, you configure it the same way, and then you just punch it, and that's how you get it. So that's all. That was all in the stream. So if you've seen the stream, you're familiar with this stuff. There are some new items that I have added, however. Let me pull these out of here because we're not talking about those right now. And let me grab this. So there is this storage locker. It's quite looking, if I do say so myself. And basically, that's old information. Let me destroy that and place a new. There we go. So the idea behind this node, and I'm going to look at some of the code later on in the video, is that you can have a task that gives you a requisition form or a request form. So here we have a gear request form, and you take it from whatever node you get this request form from, take it to a storage locker, which could be placed wherever in the map, and then you throw it here. I believe the timer is 5 seconds, and then it gives you the gear in this case because it was a gear request form. And then you would go back to wherever you got that request form from, put the gear in the machine to, fix it, and then you would get your XP. So it creates a bit more travel. So you're not just punching something or entering a code. You have to go back and forth between places, gives people reasons to be wandering around. Yeah. So that's been added. And then this is not fully complete yet, but I'm going to show it anyways. So there is an arc reactor. I don't know if that's really a great name for it. Ignore the slight alpha issue on the beams here, or the sparks, I guess. Due to just the way that Minetest handles alpha, because there's alpha here, it becomes invisible. Whatever, it's not a big deal. So that's the working version, that one lights up. This is the non-working version. It doesn't light up as much. I think it lights up to level 2. I also need to change the texture because all of this glowy stuff shouldn't actually be glowy if there's not the sparks flying through. But the idea is that this works. When this breaks down, it'll turn into this, and then there'll be a request form that you'll take to the storage locker to get a part to fix it, and then we'll turn it back to this. So that's that, and that's really it that's been added since the stream. So let's take a quick looky-see at the code here. So if you want to make tasks and you want to use the storage locker, it's actually really easy to do. You don't need to do any special code or anything. It's kind of genius how I did this. I don't know if that's probably being a little hyperbolic. It's probably not that smart, but it works, and it works quite well. So it only allows you to put something into the input slot if the last 3 letters in the item string are REQ. And then, so yeah, it's a 5-second timer. You put something in, the timer starts for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, it literally just takes whatever's in the input stack, subtracts the last 5 characters off of it, which I don't know why the difference here for sure. There's an underscore usually that's placed before the REQ, but I don't know why this is 5 and that's you'd think it would be 4, but whatever the case, it works. So it strips off the underscore REQ, and then it places that into the output slot. So all you need to do for an item is pretty much follow what I have here. We have tasks gear, so that's the actual gear. And then the gear request form is tasks gear underscore REQ. You could use, it doesn't have to be a task. It could be in any other mod, as long as the request form version has the underscore REQ at the end. You can use whatever name you want with as many underscores or anything, whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as the last 4 characters are underscore REQ, and the other one is the same name with just those last 4 characters not there. It'll automatically work, which stellar, because that means no extra code in the storage locker and stuff. Also, because I understand the first map I made is sci-fi, but the idea is that other maps can be made that may or may not be sci-fi. I am going to turn the storage locker here, all of these, into their own functions. So it's very easy to register new storage lockers. Maybe you want a different color, a different shape, whatever. And then you'll just be able to call 3 functions on it. Maybe only 2. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to create a special function for the timer. That's pretty basic. But yeah, so that will be a thing. And then let's go look at the server. So the server itself is called In Our Midst. I didn't, because it's a ripoff of Among Us. Among Us in Our Midst. Basically, it's saying the exact same thing, but it's not worded the exact same. So, like, I'm not infringing on anybody's IP or anything, or, yeah, intellectual property IP. So, yeah. But then in the server description, I literally say it's a shameless ripoff. But, it is what it is. So here on the server, oh, somebody did some more parkour. So this was something that was brought up during the stream. Why don't I have the fly privilege? I'm literally the admin. I should have every privilege there is. What's in here? Oh, guys, you can't put tasks. Oh, it's unconfigured. Okay, it doesn't matter then. There's some over here too. So one of the things that was brought up, because there is currently only 1 level available, is that after you're, terminated, you get kicked back to the main lobby here. But there was literally nothing you could do. You just run around and be bored. So I gave a couple people creative, and they built this. And it looks like somebody came back since then and changed a few things around, which is fine. So basically these buttons here, it does a search in a radius of 4. I believe this node counts as 1. So that should be this full room. But to be safe, stand on the red. And then when you punch it, this one requires 2 players. To be quite fair, playing this with 2 players, it's pretty lame. You obviously know who the traitor is as soon as you start, because you're not the traitor if you're not. With 3 players, as soon as one person dies, you know who the traitor is. So even with 3 players, it's really not that great. 4 or more is good, but for testing purposes, I dropped it down to 2. Let me just grab my hammer here. So if you have creative, here we go. This is pretty much what your setup looks like on creating a level. All these GUIs all need to change and stuff. Like, there's tons of dead space down here that shouldn't exist. We just have a map ID, which this is used to store some persistent data. Basically just where the spawn position is, required number of players. Basically everything you see here is stored with this ID. You have the map name, that's what shows when you hover over the node. A required number of players, XP, and then where the player should spawn. And then you put a little description in. Hit submit, it'll turn green. I can't do it because, you know, because of reasons, but I think it's off in this direction. There we go. I encased it inside this black, solid, dark box just to make it more fun. Make it look more outer spacey. I don't know. If you were inside of a spaceship, I don't really think it would look like this at all. But yeah, automagical doors. Well, single door is really not that impressive because, you know, a single door is going to work. But double doors, cool. Click on either of them and they both open. So, pretty basic, actually. Glowy floors. We got some tasks in here. All this good stuff. Basically just a big arena to run around in and try to avoid other players. The chat system is set up so you can chat in when you're in a level, and the chat will only be visible to players in that level. If you're in the lobby, you can only chat with players in the lobby. Direct messages are disabled, as is... Well, I shouldn't say it's disabled. Direct messages are. You can't set a home position, so you can't sneak back into boxes, levels, maps, whatever you want to call it. You could have one that doesn't have a black sky, so you have actual daylight in it, but there is time, so time will cycle through, so you do have to have stuff with some artificial lighting in it, so at night it's not pitch black, unless you're going for a pitch black night, which, I mean, that could be fun as well. I think that's pretty much it that I really have for you this time around. Oh, we could cover. So when you die, you get a corpse placed. If I right click on this, I think it'll crash. So I'm not going to do that. But you would, when you find a corpse in the game, you'd right click on it. All the players on this particular level teleport to this platform over here. This is the spawn position in here, but the code runs and does a random number between -2 and +2. I believe that it adds to the spawn position in the X and Z direction. Yeah. So the idea is that you're kind of spaced out a little bit, and then you're all frozen in place till everybody votes. At that time, the traitor can't eliminate any other players. Originally they could, and that kind of turned into an issue, so that was corrected pretty quickly. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. If you are interested in building levels, let me know, either on the Discord or however else you would contact me, email or whatever. And I can get you hooked up with that. If you want to look at the game code or create content and submit it, the code's all hosted on Not-A-Bug, which will be, well, in the video description, there'll be a link to the server webpage on my website. And then on there, it's linked to the Not-A-Bug repository with the code and all of that good stuff. So that, I think, is gonna do it for this first video. And then in subsequent videos, you know, just sharing updates and stuff. There's not, like in Epic, you know, oops. You know, in Epic, there's a news. Well, there's no news here. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that still needs to change, like this. I have no idea what this will look like. LOL. Yeah. So, that will, at some point, display something that makes a little more sense to display. And, yeah, hopefully, you know, we'll get some more stuff. Like, I suppose I could go ahead and put... Oh, you know what? The engines aren't on the game yet, so I can't. I was going to say I could throw some storage lockers in here and engines in here right now, but I can't because I have not yet updated the code on the server. Oh, the sounds, yes. Incredible, top notch. That's amazing Foley right there. I believe it's called Foley. I made that sound myself. What did it sound like anyways? No, it wasn't that. It was how did I make that sound? I don't remember what the sound was. So I no, that's not it either. I don't remember. But the opening's just one way, and then I just played the sound backwards for the closing. But I think it sounds aight, you know. If somebody wants to get a better sound, you know, that'd be fine too. But we'll wrap this one up here. The server's public, so if you want to play it and find bugs, or if you have any requests for you know, things that should be changed to make it better playing, you can leave those issues and suggestions on the Not a Bug repository, or there is if you're on the Minetest Videos fan Discord, there is a Traitor-Dev channel, and you can leave requests, suggestions, bugs, any of that stuff on that channel as well. And I will, you know, try to get them fixed and taken care of as soon as I can. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.